Hello everyone and welcome back to Grace Crochets. For today's video I have this doggy bandana that I made for my dog. This is a super easy beginner friendly project, and because this is so beginner friendly I'm going to be going really slow throughout this. So if you're more intermediate or advanced, bear with me on this one. You'll pick up the pattern really easy, probably won't have to finish the video. But other than that, let's get started. You're going to start off with a magic circle. And how you do a magic circle for this project is you'll lay the tail end of your yarn across your fingers like so. Take your working yarn and wrap it around your fingers like so. Then take your hook, go under the first loop, and pull the second loop underneath, okay? You can take it off your fingers and you'll have this loop. And at this point, you can chain one. And this chain one doesn't count as anything. This chain one just helps keep everything in place. Okay, now I'll take my tail end and pull it just a little bit to tighten up this loop right here. But you're going to be starting off with a double crochet to start off this project. And you can do that by either chaining two and have that count as a double crochet, or you can do what I do. I will draw up my loop and hold it with my index finger and essentially yarn over with that loop, okay? Then I'll insert my hook into this loop right here, your magic circle, and then yarn over and draw up a loop. And your index finger is still on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through two loops. You can let go with your index finger now. Then yarn over and pull through the next two. I just think that looks more like a real double crochet than a chain two, but it's totally up to you with whatever you're comfortable with. Now you're going to chain one. And now you're going to be doing 3 double crochets. How to do that? Yarn over, insert your hook into your magic circle and draw up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the next 2 loops. And that's 1 double crochet. We're going to do 2 more. Yarn over, insert your hook and draw up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Let's do 1 more. Yarn over, insert your hook into your magic circle and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the next 2. At this point, you're going to chain 1 and do 3 more double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook and draw up a loop. Yarn over, pull through two loops, yarn over, and pull through the next 2. Do another, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, and draw through or pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. There's 2 double crochets. We're going to do 1 more. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to chain 1 and do 1 more double crochet. Okay? Now you're going to take the tail end of your yarn and pull it tight so that magic circle closes. So that was row 1, and now you can begin working on row 2. And you can kind of see that it forms a little bit of a triangle. That's important. So you're going to either do your chain 2 to represent a double crochet or do the double crochet that I just showed you. So turn your work, hold the loop on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the very first stitch, if I can, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Okay? Then chain 1. You're going to yarn over and place 3 loops into that chain 1 space right there from the previous row. So 3 double crochets. Here is 1, 2, and 3. All right, chain 1. Now you're going to look for the next chain 1 space, and you're going to place 3 double crochets into that space. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now chain 1, and you're going to place 3 more double crochets into that same space. Here is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now you're going to chain 1 and place 3 more double crochets into this chain 1 space on the edge here. Here is 1, 2, and 3. Now this part is a little bit difficult. You're going to chain 1 and place a double crochet into that double crochet on the very end from the previous round or row. Okay, and that is the end of row 2. And I want to point out a few patterns here. So after every time you do 3 double crochets, you will be chaining 1. And then here's the apex here. I'll show you on my big one. So this is the apex of the bandana project. So the pattern for every apex, because there's a chain 1 there, in that chain 1, you will be placing 3 double crochets, chain 1, then 3 more double crochets, all within that chain 1 space, just so you guys can pick up the pattern here. But let's begin working on row 3. Okay, so let's begin working on row 3. I'm going to do the same thing by drawing up my loop, turning my work, and doing that same double crochet that I've been doing into the very first stitch. And you'll notice that the pattern at the end of each row, at the beginning and end of each row, is always 1 double crochet and then a chain. And then after the chain, you'll place 3 double crochets into that chain 1 space from the previous row. There's 1, 2, and 3. And because of how the pattern goes, after we have 3 double crochets, we chain 1. And here's another chain 1 space, so I know to put 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space. Here's my second and my third. Then chain 1. And now I am at the apex of my project. And like I said, the pattern for the apex is 3 double crochets, then a chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets. And the reason it's like that is to get that triangle shape. But there's my first 3 double crochets, then I chained 1. Here's my next double crochet, and my last one. Okay, now chain 1. And place 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. And as you may notice, you'll especially notice on this next row that after every row you are gaining a chain 1 space on each side. Okay, after you have your 3 double crochets, chain 1. Yarn over, place 3 more double crochets into this chain 1 space on the very end. And because we're on the very end, we are going to chain 1 and place only 1 double crochet into this last double crochet from the previous row. Now we can begin working on row 4. So again, I'm going to draw up my loop, turn my work, yarn over with my loop, insert my hook into the very first stitch, and then chain 1. I'm going to place 3 double crochets into that very first chain 1 space. There's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Going to be inserting 3 double crochets into this chain 1 space right here. Here is 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Do the same thing into this chain 1 space. So in every chain 1 space, minus the apex, there is going to be 3 double crochets. And then after every 3 double crochets, chain 1. And now we have reached the apex, so we're going to be doing that apex pattern of 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, then chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets all within that same chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Got a knot there. Okay. Then chain 1 and work your way back down this side. Here is a chain 1 space. So I know I'm going to be putting 3 double crochets within that space. And then chain 1. Same thing with this chain 1 space right there. Here is 1, 2, and 3, then chain 1. Place 3 more double crochets into this last chain 1 space on the very edge. 1, oops, 2, and 3. And then, because I'm at the very end, I chain 1 and place 1 more double crochet into the double crochet at the very end. If I can. These can be really difficult to work with, unfortunately. There we go. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. Alright, now let's work on the next row. It's essentially the same thing. Pull up the loop, yarn over, or turn your work, yarn over, insert your hook, place 1 double crochet, and then 3 double crochets into that first chain 1 space on the very end. There is 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and then place 3 double crochets into this next chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, do the same thing into the next chain 1 space. Place 3 double crochets. There was 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, we have another chain 1 space. Here is 1, 2, and 3, chain 1. And now we're at the apex, so we're going to do the apex pattern. Place 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 1, and place 3 more double crochets into that same space. Then chain 1. We have another chain 1 space, place 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, then chain 1. Same thing for the next chain 1 space, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1. We have another chain 1 space, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1. Then we have one more chain 1 space at the very end. Don't ever forget about that one. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 1 because we're at the end, and place one more double crochet into the very last stitch at the end. There we go. That's the end of that row. So you can start to really see it coming together. And I'll give you a visual, the one that I made, as you can see here. So that is about where we are at now. And you're just going to continue that pattern. So to begin on the next row, you would place a double crochet, chain 1, then place 3 double crochets in every chain 1 space along this side, then do the apex pattern and work yourself back down this side. And you're going to continue that pattern until you have the desired size of your bandana. And then you can begin working on these I-cords. I do have an I-cord video that I made. It's on my channel. I'll have it linked in the description in case you're a little bit confused on how to make these I-cords. They can be really frustrating. But I'm going to show you how I made these on the ends. So, I'm going to zoom in. Oops. Okay. So how I began the first side, let's pretend I finished this project, I inserted my hook into that chain 1 space right here, pulled it up, chained 1 by just pulling through 1 loop on my hook like I did. So I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to reinsert my hook into that same space and pull through 1 loop, so essentially just chaining 1. And now you have yourself set up to how to make an I-cord. And these can be really frustrating. They're really easy fundamentally, but they're very frustrating to do, if that makes sense. So you have your 3 loops on your hook. You're going to pull your loop out of the first 2. And very carefully, without dropping these 2 loops, you're going to yarn over. And you're going to pull through the 1 loop that is on your hook. You're going to reinsert your hook into that first loop. Very carefully yarn over and pull through 1 loop. Then reinsert your hook into that loop, yarn over, and pull through that loop. And then you're set up to how you were before you just did that. So kind of draw up your loops, stretch them out a little bit. Very carefully pull out your hook like so. Yarn over. Pull through the 1 loop that's on your hook. Reinsert your hook into that first loop. Very carefully yarn over and pull through 1 loop. Then reinsert your hook into that last loop, yarn over, and pull through. Okay, I'll do one more part of that I-cord with you guys. So again, after you have 3 loops on your hook, draw up your hook a little bit to stretch those loops out. Pull out your hook very carefully, yarn over carefully, pull through 1 loop, reinsert your hook, very carefully, yarn over, pull through that 1 loop, oh no, there we go, reinsert your hook into that last loop, yarn over, and pull through that loop. You're just going to repeat that until you have an I-cord long enough that you can wrap it around your dog's neck and tie it in a cute little bow. But how you finish, let me zoom back in. How you finish the I-cord is really simple. You're just going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, then take whatever scissors you have that you're going to use and cut it off and pull your loop through. And that's how you do an I-cord. And I'm going to show you guys how I started the I-cord on the other side, just so no one's confused. So I'm going to insert my hook, take my yarn that I had just cut, going to yarn over and pull it through, and I'm just kind of holding the tail and the working end here. I'm going to take both strands, the tail and the working yarn, I'm going to yarn over and pull them both through this loop, like so. Okay, now I'm going to drop the tail end of my yarn, so I'm not going to work with that anymore. I'm going to reinsert my hook into that same space, pull up a loop, and chain 1, just pull through that 1 loop, reinsert my hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop. Okay? So you're set up just how you were for the other I-cord. You're going to pull your hook very carefully out of those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, reinsert your hook into the next loop, yarn over, pull through, reinsert your hook, yarn over, and pull through. And you're going to continue that again, let's zoom out here, until you have I-cords that are long enough to wrap around your dog's neck. And let's see, you can tie a little bow, like so. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was such a fun project for me to make, and I think that it looks so cute on my dog, so I'm going to make a whole bunch of them in all different colors. I'm really excited. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comments and I'll try to get back to you guys. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed and stay tuned for more.